Oh, excuse me. I'm just wiping off all the dirt I picked up going down this rabbit hole. If you've ever wondered what it's like to both love and hate your fellow humans at the same time, take up investigating scams. This investigation shows the best of us willing to do everything and anything we can to save innocent four-legged creatures at any cost. And the worst of us making sure that that cost is as high as possible. Before I get into this, I want to give a quick shout out to Lauren, an Ask Grammy follower who dropped this question in my comments on Facebook. So this one came straight from you, Lauren, and I think a lot of people are going to be really glad you asked. Now, let me tell you what I found. We've all seen those posts online, sad eyes looking through cage bars and an animal who looks like they've been through hell, a desperate caption, and a dollar amount. That's sadvertising. And when it's done by a legitimate rescue organization doing real work, it's an effective way to raise funds for animals that genuinely need help. But Lauren wondered if the many equine, donkey, and dog rescue posts she was seeing in her feed were real. So she kindly provided me with some examples of a few that she had questions about, and they were a whole different animal, pun fully intended. I dug into what she sent and found out that what we're dealing with is a network of pages across Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and more that have turned our love of animals into a cash machine. And they're not spending a dime of it on any actual animals, unless maybe they have pets. By the way, if as you watch this video, you find yourself thinking, damn, this Grammy woman really knows her stuff, I need more of this, then take a moment to follow or subscribe. It's the best way to make sure the good stuff keeps coming. Now, before I show you the receipts, I want to do something a little different. I want to walk you through exactly why these scams work so well, because once you understand the playbook, I want you to watch the rest of this investigation with fresh eyes and see if you can spot it in action. And by all means, if you spot some psychological tricks I don't mention here, drop them in the comments section. With that said, let's dive into the reasons why it works so well. First, fond memories. You don't have to own a pet right now to feel the pull of these posts. A lot of us grew up with a dog or a cat or some other kind of pet that lives somewhere warm inside of us, and these pages know exactly where to find it. Second, the named victim. This one is deliberate, and honestly, it's cruel. Charlie needs $1,200 by Friday or he goes to a kill shelter. You might be able to scroll past a sad dog, but you can't scroll past Charlie. There's actual psychology behind this, and it's sometimes called the identified victim effect. A nameless, faceless group in need doesn't move people the way one individual with a name and a face does. These operations use that on purpose. Innocence. Animals can't advocate for themselves. They don't make bad choices. They're not complicated. Their purity is a direct line to people's empathy. And there's no internal debate the way there might be with other types of charitable giving. And then there's the payoff loop. Here's the piece that turns a one-time donor into a repeat donor, because the after photo of Charlie, happy, healthy, rescued, delivers a genuine feel-good moment. And it does feel amazing. And your brain wants to feel that way again. So the next time a sad-eyed dog shows up in your feed with a name and a deadline, your wallet is already halfway open before you've even read the caption. Now, keep all of that in mind as we go through what I found, because you're going to see every single one of these tactics in play. Okay, so Lauren's original question was about equine, donkey, and pet rescue pages that are constantly running emotional fundraising appeals. So I started my digging with those, and what I found was bigger than I expected. The first thing I do with any page claiming to be a nonprofit is go straight to the IRS. The U.S. Internal Revenue Service maintains a free public database called the Tax Exempt Organization Search. If an organization is a legitimate nonprofit, the kind that lets your donation be tax deductible, they have to be registered. And that registration is public. So let's talk about what I found, or in most cases, what I didn't find. First up, Equine Rescue Barn. They claim to be, as you can see here on their Facebook page, a 501c3 rescue barn. That's a nonprofit. So I went over to the IRS tax exempt organization search page, and I selected from the menu here organization name as opposed to EIN number because it's easier to look for the names. And I didn't select any states because I wanted to check all states. So we can see here that when I searched for Equine Rescue Barn, the search didn't return any results. And I'm just going to hit that again so you can see the process. It can take a few seconds to get results because the database is huge. But you can see right there, it popped up. I just wanted you to know that I actually did do these searches. I just pulled them up in advance because they do take some time to go through. Next one I looked at is called Ann Ranch, and they call themselves Ann Ranch Horse Rescue. And I did a search for them as well. And you can see same story, 0 results, not a blip. So then I decided to check on God's Mercy Horse Rescue, also claiming nonprofit status. And as you might have guessed, no results, nothing. And by the way, this same account is posting content that's been recycled from other pages across multiple platforms. But what I found is that isn't at all that uncommon among these types of scams. And we're going to get into that. So stay tuned. Then I checked out Second Chance Sanctuary. And as you can see, this is their YouTube channel, and they claim to be a nonprofit based in California. So, of course, I ran a check on them as well. And you can see that there are actually 4 different returns for Second Chance Sanctuary, and none of them are in California. We've got South Carolina, Connecticut, North Carolina, and New York. No California. And this is a little interesting as well. You see this one from Connecticut? It's on the auto revocation list. That means they had legitimate nonprofit status at one point and lost it because they failed to do the required paperwork. So even the real ones aren't always what they appear to be. Anyway, there's no California Second Chance Sanctuary. So the one that's been collecting donations online with their Sadvertising, as far as the IRS is concerned, doesn't even exist. Now, I want to be really careful with this next one because there is a real All Valley Horse Rescue. Let me show you because they actually do show up in the IRS listings, and they are in Lancaster, California, where they claim to be. They're real, they're registered, and they're legit. The problem is that their content, actual videos of the actual horses that they're working with, appear to be getting stolen and reposted by fake accounts all over the place. Let me show you what I mean. For example, this beautiful horse right here with the caption, "Watch as this abused horse realizes he's safe for the first time in his life." And you can see right down here, it has All Valley Horse Rescue on the bottom of it. And if we come over here to Second Chance Sanctuary, one of the ones that doesn't show up in the IRS database, we can find that same video. The identical horse. Let me toggle back and forth between the two. This one is at All Valley Horse Rescue, and this one, as you can see from the changed information they put at the bottom, Second Chance Sanctuary. So we're seeing here that that's not original content. Now, I'm assuming, I haven't double checked on it yet, but I'm assuming that the Apple Valley Horse Rescue YouTube channel really belongs to them. But as I said, I haven't been able to confirm that it's actually operated by the real organization, as opposed to somebody using their name. That's an important distinction, and it's one that I don't want to gloss over because a legitimate rescue is out there doing real work, and scammers are using their footage to collect donations that will never see the inside of a barn. Okay, at the risk of sounding like one of those old Ginsu knife commercials, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, I was watching this commercial on TV with the Ginsu knives.
Let's go back to the Equine Rescue Barn Facebook page. This one really irks me because they have 284,000 people following them on Facebook. And you can see from their posts, everything is begging for money. They just beg and beg and beg for money for these animals. Please stay for 8 seconds so I don't have to close my donkey sanctuary. this type of thing. So again, sadvertising, which in the hands of an honest location is fine, but not so much when people are being dishonest. One of the fastest ways to watch these things unravel is to take a look at those images. I'm going to click on this picture right here, and I'm going to grab the image. For me, I'm on a PC. I'm just going to do a right click, take a screenshot. It lets me select the whole image. I'm going to copy that and head over to Google. Once I'm here, I click on that little search by image icon, click in that gray area, and paste that image that I just grabbed from their Facebook page and see if it appears elsewhere online. And right away, I see pictures of this horse popping up on the Love This Horse Equine Rescue, which I've already looked into, and they are a legitimate registered nonprofit organization. So I'm just going to click on this picture and head over to their website. Just want to toggle again back and forth so that you can see that they have this picture. And here's that same picture again on the Equine Rescue Barn site. Now, if I toggle through this, you can see that they have a couple of other images of this same animal. It has the long hooves and an injured leg, and they have 3 pictures there. Well, lo and behold, when we come over to the post that was at Love This Horse Rescue, we can see that they have the exact pictures that have been stolen by one site and put onto another. Honestly, I'm shocked at how many times I saw the same images appearing across various social media accounts, with everybody claiming that they were rescuing that animal and you should contribute to them. This whole investigation could have just kept going because there are so many of these scams. It is a huge problem, really serious. Honestly, if you're running a real animal rescue, you have plenty of your own content. You're there. You're with the animals. You're documenting their progress. You don't need to borrow other people's videos or pictures. If an account can't produce original content from their own operation, there's a pretty good reason for it. It's because they're not actually doing any of it. Okay, let's make the leap from equine to canine. Okay, I want to show you the Facebook pages for Hungry and Abandoned Paws Shelter and Just One Life Shelter, because they appear to be 2 separate Facebook pages, different names, different profile pictures, except when we look closely, we start to see that there are too many things in common. Look at their little profile picture here. Save a life in blue. Save a life in red. Same idea. Sad dog, face drooping over the sign. Sad dog, face drooping over the sign. Now, let's take a look at what they have for addresses, because this is interesting too. So we have Just One Shelter, apparently at 1040 East Street, Clarksville, Arkansas, with a Clarksville, Tennessee underneath it. Not really surprising then that on the Hungry and Abandoned Paws site, we also have 1040 East Main Street, Clarksville, Arkansas. They also both have the same boilerplate bio, word for word. We've already carried out over 1,500 adoptions and rescues, blah, blah, blah. We've already carried out over 1,500 adoptions and rescues, word for word. And if we toggle back and forth between one and the other, we find that they also have identical posts on both of these. So they're doing a double tap here. They have 2 different scam sites going on at the same time. Now, here's a part that really gives it away for me. If we go back and we take a look at the page details, now here's a part that doesn't always jump out at people, and I want to point it out to you so that you can keep an eye out for it. If we look at the Hungry and Abandoned Paws site, we can see under the personal details, the language is listed as Inglés, not English, Inglés. That's the Spanish word for English. Someone set this page up with their interface set for Spanish and didn't catch that before they published. Now, that alone wouldn't be too much of a red flag. There are a lot of people in the US who speak Spanish, but I want you to take a look at the address. They both show EUA as their country. And EUA is how you abbreviate United States in Portuguese and Spanish, not in English. And the contact email at Hungry and Abandoned Paws is Atendimento at friendlypaw.org. Atendimento is a Portuguese word. It means customer service or support. So what we're looking at here are two Facebook pages, almost certainly run by the same person or group, operating outside of the United States, using a copy and pasted US address with a Ko-Fi donation link. And they're collecting money from people who think they're helping animals in Arkansas. I want to show you one more because this is a little bit different and worth mentioning because it shows how quickly these operations spin up. The website helpsavingthepaws.com was registered on January 26, 2026, and the Facebook page launched in December of 2025. So we're talking about a brand new operation. And the real organization, Saving Paws Animal Rescue, has had to come out publicly and tell people they're not affiliated with these people, saying, we don't sell bracelets. Please don't confuse us with them. That means there's a legitimate rescue having to spend time and energy defending their reputation because someone spun up a confusingly similar name to siphon off their goodwill. That's the collateral damage here. Okay, so now you know what this looks like. Let's talk a little bit about how to protect yourself before you donate to any animal rescue or sanctuary page online. Step one, check the IRS database. I'm going to include the link in the comments as well as in a related post on the AskGrammy.com website. It's free, it's public. Search the organization name, and if they claim to be a 501c3 or nonprofit and they're not in that database, that's your answer. Step two is a reverse image search. If you've watched other of my videos, you've seen me doing these repeatedly. They are one of the best tools in my toolkit. So if you see a video or a photo that's being used to solicit donations, right-click on the image or use a tool like Google Lens to search it. If the same image is showing up on multiple accounts with different names, you're looking at stolen content. You either need to figure out where it originated from to figure out who the owner is, or just back off of all of them entirely. Step three, look for tells. Some of the things I found in this investigation are things any viewer could spot. Unusual abbreviations like EUA, or words like Anglais or Atendimento in a page that's claiming to be an American organization. Copy and paste bios across multiple pages, Ko-Fi links instead of proper nonprofit giving platforms, and no physical address or an address that doesn't check out. Step four, look for the legitimate signs. Real rescues have IRS registration. They have a local reputation that you can verify. They post original content, real animals, real staff, real updates. Their financials are transparent, and you can download those from the IRS site as well once you locate a nonprofit. And they're less likely to be running a new urgent deadline every single week. Here's the thing that really gets me about all of this. The people being scammed here are some of the kindest people on the internet. They see a sad animal with a name and a deadline, and they open their hearts. They're not stupid or naive. That's humanity and trust, and the scammers know it. I encourage you to share this video because I guarantee you someone in your circle has donated or is considering donating to one of these pages or one just like them, and they deserve to know. If you have a tip or something you want me to look into, drop it in the comments or send me an email using the contact link on the AskGrammy.com webpage. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope to see you back here real soon. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.